It's too strong for Fitzroy in the final.
Hawthorn got the jump on the Tigers, kicking the first 4 goals of the match, with John Platten looking good early, but he was to die out of the game. Jason Dunstall looked set for a big day. The Hawk forward showed great skill to set up a big lead. Richmond could manage just 1-8 in the first term. Phil Egan, the man to post their only goal. Hawthorn's 25-point lead at quarter time only got bigger. Following a great mark by Tony Hall, Robert Di Domenico did the rest, and their advantage was 46 points at the halfway mark. A temporary comeback from Richmond made its score look somewhat respectable in the third quarter, but in the run home they were completely outclassed by the Hawks. Dunstall finished with 9 to set up Hawthorn's first win of the season by 85 points. To the Western Oval now, and with the aid of a swirling breeze, Melbourne rammed home 5 goals in the first term, 2 of them to Tony Campbell, but the best certainly to Gary Lyon. The Bulldogs were held scoreless despite the efforts of Peter Foster, who certainly grabbed everything in sight. Though to be fair, Footscray lost a bit of drive in midfield when Terry Wallace was taken out by Rodney Grinter. It was only when Bulldogs' first gamer and #1 draft pick Darren Davies was unleashed in the second term that the Bulldogs really came to light. He goaled with his first kick and had a hand in a couple more. And finally, Footscray came back to trail by 6 points at half-time. With Hawkins absolutely dominant at half-back, the Bulldogs did well to contain Melbourne early in the third term. But 3 goals in time on for Melbourne were really crucial in winning back the initiative, and they earned a lead of 35 points at the final change. Against the wind and against the run of play early in the final term, Sean White capped off a sensational drive forward with this magnificent goal that kept the initiative Melbourne's way. And when it was followed by a goal from ex-Brownlow medallist Brian Wilson, the Demons' 48-point buffer was always going to be enough for them to win. Meanwhile, at the MCG, the Kangaroos were determined not to have a repeat of last week's performance when 11 goals were kicked against them in the opening turn. North were the ones to set the post today, goaling in the first couple of minutes of the match. Geelong then replied through Lindner, and when he followed it up with another soon after, the Cats grabbed a 2-point lead. But the goal spree certainly didn't stop there. By the end of the first quarter, 14 had been kicked, 8 by North and half a dozen by Geelong. Trailing by 2 goals going into the second term, the Cats again fought their way back to the lead until North Melbourne did likewise thanks to the magic of the Cracker brothers. And at half-time, it was North by 22 points. But when the third term got underway, it was a totally different Geelong side. They moved the ball quicker and looked for Lindner, who was magnificent up forward, rarely missing an opportunity. Although kicking against a slight breeze, North hardly had any of the attacking play and could manage only 2 goals for the term compared to Geelong's 6-5. In the early stages of the final quarter, North Melbourne backmen were far too slow, which no side can afford when they're up against the likes of Lindner and Gary Ablett, who was still effective despite a heavily bandaged thigh. In the end, it was a most impressive Geelong combination, running out winners by 15 points.
And more action at a few moments.